We all love having fish in our aquarium, there's no doubt about that, but there are other aquatic animals that you can keep in your aquarium. Aquatic frogs and snails come to mind. There is, however, a fairly new option that has become popular with aquarists, and that is the dwarf crayfish, the Mexican dwarf crayfish in particular. And in this video, we'll go over the general care and requirements for this crayfish. I will also give you a little bit of advice so that you can successfully keep these crayfish for yourself. My name is Gus, and this is my aquarium info. The dwarf crayfish comes to us from Mexico. They're also located in the southern United States. In the wild, the dwarf crayfish displays natural colors. You've got your browns, tans, and other dark colors. But a rare orange coloring mutation has made it quite attractive to aquarists. In addition, the dwarf crayfish only grows a few centimeters in length, making it far less dangerous than its larger cousins. Depending on the exact species that you get, you can expect your dwarf crayfish to grow into a size in between 4 millimeters, with the largest species growing to a maximum length of 2 inches. This is extremely small compared to the larger 5-inch crayfish that are more commonly available. Their attractive small size and less aggressive personality makes them compatible with a wider variety of fish. You can even keep aquatic plants with these crayfish since they don't consume them like the other larger crayfish. I have personally lost quite a few fish, snails, frogs, and plants to larger crayfish, and switching over to dwarf crayfish has decreased my losses to 0. Now let's go over the aquarium requirements for the dwarf crayfish. If you have a smaller species of dwarf crayfish, like the kind that only get about 5 millimeters, you can keep them at a ratio of 1 crayfish for every 3 gallons. For the larger 2-inch dwarf crayfish, I would recommend 1 for every 5 gallons. One thing to keep in mind when keeping crayfish is to provide a lot of hiding spaces. This makes them feel safe and gives them a secure area to molt. When crayfish molt, they are extremely vulnerable and can be harmed by other aquatic animals until their shells harden. You're going to want to do your best to keep your water temperature in between 68 to 80 degrees and with a pH in between 6 and 8. You should feed your crayfish both live foods as well as processed foods. I'd recommend 1 live feeding in the morning and 1 processed food feeding in the afternoon. You can always switch these 2 around if you like. Just be sure to feed them pellets that sink to the bottom of the aquarium. Flakes and other free-floating foods can get sucked up into the filter or simply eaten by other fish. As far as the live foods go, blackworms seem to work the best. If you plan on breeding your dwarf crayfish, they reach maturity at the age of 5 months. Nothing special is needed to enhance their spawning rituals. They will simply mate when they're ready. The female will carry around the cluster of baby crayfish for about 2 weeks and will drop them when they begin eating by themselves. If you're interested in knowing if you have a boy or girl crayfish, here is a diagram that illustrates the main difference in them. The dwarf crayfish are a little small, but if you see that pair of swimmerettes, you'll know you have a male. If you follow these recommendations and provide a healthy aquarium, you can expect your crayfish to live an estimated 2 to 3 years, and hopefully they will have provided you with a few baby crayfish you can keep a little bit longer. If you have any remaining questions about the dwarf crayfish or anything having to do with your aquarium for that matter, please let me know. I will be sure to reply with some help and be sure to give you credit if I use your input. My name is Gus, and this is my aquarium info. Thanks.